Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk, and first off, apologies for no videos for the last few weeks. I basically got soaking wet and come down with a really nasty flu, and it knocked me for six for what, over 2 weeks. I was really poorly with it, and I just didn't have any inclination or feeling to do anything apart from lie in bed and feel unwell, basically. Anyway, another apology is this is not going to be an electronics video. This is something a little bit more serious. Basically, if you live in the UK, if you've noticed, there's a lot of thing going on the media at the moment is about us having blackouts coming in January, February next year. There's a possibility it could be a lot of fear mongering. It could be a possibility that it'll only affect people that are daft enough to have had a smart meter fitted. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that go and have a look at one of Big Clive's videos he did some time ago, and he actually breaks down one of these modern smart meters, and will tell you the whole problem with them and the reason why I have a feeling that when these blackouts come, they'll only affect people that've got smart meters. They won't affect people like me that have got the old-fashioned style meter. But we'll see about that anyway. But the thing is that they are saying that there's a possibility that we're going to have, you know, these rolling blackouts. So it'll be like, I think they're saying, is it 3 hours or something like from 4 o'clock in the afternoon until 7 o'clock in the evening or something, they'll be shutting the power off. I mean, is that a major issue? Can you know, not live without power for that amount of time? The thing is that most people have central heating systems, and that's how they heat their homes. And when your power's off, your central heating system isn't going to work, because although the boiler runs on gas, the pump and the electronics for the boiler all run on your mains electricity. So there's going to be a lot of houses that have basically got no heat in them at all. I'm fortunate that I have an open fire in the living room, so I can always warm my living room irrespective if I've got electricity or not. A lot of people don't have that luxury. My workshop I'm in here now, I rely on an electric heater to keep the workshop warm. That's another thing, with the price of electricity skyrocketing the way it is, I have to be careful how much I actually run the heater in the workshop, because obviously it's an electric heater and it's costing money to run. And that's where I'm basically getting to on this video. Now, this was an idea I saw quite a few years ago, and I completely poo-pooed it. I did not think this worked at all. I was not expecting this to work, and what it is, and believe it or not, it does work. What we've got here, this is what's known as a Tealight heater, and this is one that I've knocked up. You don't have to go as fancy as this, or you can go far more fancy than this. If we open it up, basically this is just a terracotta flower pot. This is a, I think this is about an 8-inch terracotta flower pot, 7 or 8 inch. Yeah, it's about 7 or 8 inch. That came from the local garden centre, and that was £1.99. Then we've got a base. Again, you don't need to do this. I'll show you how to put one of these together using just nothing apart from buying a plant pot. All I've done is I had some scrap steel lying around. I made a cross out of scrap steel, welded it together, and then I had a bit of tray. I think it's the back of an old light or something, which I've just welded onto it, so I've got a nice little tray there. And all we do, these are tea lights. You can get them from pound shops and supermarkets and places like that. Now these come in different burn times. These aren't really ideal. These are 3-hour ones. but they go up to 8-hour ones, and they're not bad price wise, even if you're just buying them like you're in your local cheap shops. I bought a big bag. These are the 8-hour ones, and these were 20 for £2.50. So they're pretty cheap to buy. Now if you go online, you can buy bags of 100 of these for like 10 quid. Which obviously, like I say, it makes it a bit cheaper than buying them like this, but this is cheap enough. All we need to do light up your tea lights. You have to give them a minute just to for the flame to stabilise. If you put the pot on straight away like that, just the downdraft of you pushing it down, you tend to blow a few of the tea lights out. So you just give them a minute to establish a decent flame. Right, I'll just switch the light out I have above the desk here. It might just make it a little bit easier for you to see that. So we've got a nice burn on them then. And we just take the plant pot, and place it over it like that. Now as you can see the way this is designed, there is a gap underneath there for air to flow. And I've seen various different designs of these made. Some of them, they cover that hole in the top there up. Personally, like I said, I've been playing about with these for a few days now. If you cover the top there, the plant pot gets red hot and it does radiate heat more out like that. The pot does get to the point where you will burn yourself if you touched it. This setup I've got here, it tends to work a little bit more like a convector heater, as in you've got cold air coming in from the bottom there, it's getting heated, and you actually, if you put your hand over it like this, you have got a hot warm plume of air coming up like that. Now after it's been on about 20 minutes or so, this will get so hot that you won't want to touch it. It'll basically feel like a central heating radiator. It'll get to about that kind of temperature. Now this will not substitute for your central heating system. You can't expect these to be as effective as your actual domestic central heating system, but what these will do is they will stop the rooms absolutely freezing up. These have got enough radiant heat in them. I've actually played about setting this from a cold room, and I've got my thermometer here, and I marked what the temperature was when I started, and I left one of these running in this room just like that, just a small one like that, for an hour, and it brought the temperature up about 5 degrees. So it brought it up from about 55 degrees up to 60 degrees, which, okay, it's not warm, but it's workable in. It's a temperature where, with a jumper on and perhaps my fleece on, it's not impossible to work in here at that temperature. 55 degrees, however, it's that little bit nippy, it's that little bit chilly. And this really does work. Like I said, I was not expecting quite the effect from one of these. Actually now that's been on for just a few minutes, and the terracotta there is already getting quite nice and warm. And you hold your hand over it there, and you can actually feel quite a nice updraft coming off it. So, like I said, they definitely do have an effect. And if you've got nothing else, it's like I said, it's better than nothing. If you're in a house where all you've got is your central heating system and that isn't working for 4 hours, and there's snow on the ground and it's freezing cold, at least if you have a few of these, I mean, literally this one will raise the temperature in this room, which is a reasonable, it used to be a garage, so you can imagine the size of the room, a good 5 degrees. You ever had 3 or 4 of these in here, it will raise it quite significantly. You can build bigger ones as well. This is just, like I said, these were what I could get cheap at the local garden centre. I'll just move this one. I'll just move this one out of the way. Now, one advantage of this design is you can actually pick it up if you're careful and move it. But I'll just show you a dead simple way of actually making one. All you need is 3 of basically anything that's about, these are what, about 15 centimetres. You could use pieces of wood, you could use whatever you want basically, but basically we want to form a triangle like that. And then we need just an old saucer. Put your old saucer in the middle there. And we'll get our tea lights. I'll get another one. That one's got a bit of an iffy wick on it. There we go. And just light them up. And these actually seem to burn a little bit better than them 3-hour ones that I've got running in there. Once we've got it lit like that, all you do is just put your plant pot over the top like that. And that'll work just as well as that one that I made with the actual little frame there. The only disadvantage of this obviously is if you want to move it, you've got to take the whole thing apart and move the candles and then set it back up, as well. This one you can actually pick up and move to another location if you want to. You can make a bigger one. Like I said, the simple reason I made them at this size is because these were the easily available pots. I do have actually in the living room a slightly larger one I made, which is about it's about 10-inch, I think. It's a slightly different pot, and that one, because it's slightly bigger like that, I've actually got 5. I've got 5 of the little tea lights in it rather than the 4 that I'm using in here. And again, it does produce a little bit more heat. It's actually producing enough heat to take the chill off the living room during the day without actually having the open fire running. If you give it a much bigger pot like that, you could perhaps have 6 or 7 tea lights in here and make, if you had like a 12-inch pot or something like that. I don't know whether I want to go much bigger than that. And smaller wise, I did try a tiny little pot like that with just like 1 tea light in it, and to be honest, it didn't do anything. It wasn't really effective. This, however, like I said, it actually does work. It surprised me. I wasn't expecting it to work. I wasn't expecting it to really, change the temperature in the room at all. And it does. Like I said, these do actually function as a way to at least take the chill off the room, if not get you toasty warm. You can put your hands around them, and there is a fair bit of heat actually coming out of the top of that now. But like I said, they will take the chill off a room. And running cost wise, even if you buy like I did here, I will order some online, a bag of 100 or so. But these, it was 20 for £2.50, and these burn for 8 hours per tea light. Now I can confirm you do get about 7 or 8 hours out of them. So if you work that out, that basically works out you can run one of these for 8 hours a day for 5 days for £2.50. Now equate that to how much you would use, say, with an electric heater in, say, the workshop like this, and actually I think these actually probably work out as a cheaper form of heating anyway. That's it basically. I just thought, like I said, these really surprised me. I was not expecting to get the results I have done out of these little plant pot heaters. I might play with some other designs. I might see about perhaps capping, and I might even get some temperature probes up and have a proper play about with them and actually see quite how well these things work. But like I said, they've surprised me. And like I say, if you've got nothing else, they're easy to put together. There's nothing you can't get to do it, even if you do like this dead simple version like I have here. Yeah, it will certainly help if you've got nothing else. Anyway, so I'm going to leave it there for now. Hopefully normal video production will resume very, very shortly. Now I'm feeling much better. I have got to go over to Andy's and pick a rather interesting little Sony portable radio. He wants me to have a look at for a friend of his. It's very late 80s, early 90s, uses a lot of surface mount components, surface mount capacitors in it. And it should be a very interesting thing to see if we can sort the issues out with it. Anyway, like I say, I'm going to leave it there for now. I hope you enjoyed this little video. I know it was something a little bit different, not my normal kind of video, so I'll say thanks for watching and goodbye.